Does the fetter mean feeling or memory or perception or consciousness or action? Thank you. Okay, let's take the fetter to be the falling for, getting hooked by, getting caught up by praise, honor, and renown. We could also say privilege, power, wealth, having some advantages in the world at this point. Is this a feeling or memory, perception, consciousness, or action? So we can investigate for ourselves how privilege, advantage has its ways of manifesting. In the world around us, we can often see quite clearly when we look at others how praise, gain, honor, and renown endanger people, endanger both the ones receiving the support and the ones who are there disenfranchised. We can see both sides. When we look inside ourselves, and this is what we really need to do to be able to make any change for the better whatsoever. Looking inside ourselves, it's not so straightforward. And what ability do we have to investigate what's happening here? Well, we have the body, we have feelings, we have thoughts, we have moods. There's the mind that is constantly, actively throwing up concepts, memories. We have all sorts of ideas. And what can be very helpful for us is recognizing the nature of ignorance is that we're not seeing things. The nature of privilege is often, when one is privileged, that we don't perceive that privilege. We take it for granted. So to investigate when we feel comfortable, when we feel uneasy, and what is it about? We can recognize the glow that we can feel when we're praised, when we're lifted up and appreciated and given space, credited. We have some status in the world. We can recognize the pleasant feeling that can arise in relation to these experiences. Equally, if we feel sidelined, undervalued, dehumanized even, nobody's listening to us, nobody's paying attention to us, we can feel the painful feeling of that. And also around safety, we can see how those who are privileged will often feel unsafe. If they're experiencing a lot of advantages over others, they're going to fear those others. They're going to imagine those others as enemies, because those others will threaten their sense of safe privilege. There's an insecurity and fear there. So the sense of safety is something we can tune into and see. Is there anything we're afraid of? What are we afraid of? And then why are we afraid? What is it we're really afraid of? What are we afraid of losing? Do we really need to hold on? Or is it actually to our advantage to open up and let go and recognize that there's no safety in having that which others want and can't have? There's no need to be mean. There's no need to be stingy. There's no need to hold it all here for me and mine. We can share. If we share, if we let go of privilege, then we can relax and feel safe. Work with harmony, work with well-being, work with building values, building virtue, living in a wholesome, good way. It's very, very difficult to do that when there is a sense of needing to hold on to anything whatsoever, actually. But in this case, we're talking about gain, honor, wealth, power, privilege, and so forth. And it doesn't really need to be said, but if a person is disadvantaged, is not given the basic rights and privileges, then of course there's going to be a lack of safety there, a vulnerability, and to live with that. Am I living with that? Do I feel unsafe? Why do I feel unsafe? What is this fear about? So to investigate our situation, friends, and to tease out where there may be these worldly winds of praise and blame, gain and lack. There are these worldly winds, but we can actually, as practitioners, use these experiences for liberation, and always be aware that we do not have to identify with the worldly winds. We don't have to be like the bird that's being buffeted by the gale force winds. We can rest. We can rest. Rest in the practice. Rest in the letting go. Rest in the understanding that there's no experience here that's personal, that's me and mine, that is to be clung to. There is just inevitably always change. One day privileged, the next day disadvantaged. One day praised, the next day blamed. Let's not allow ourselves to hold on to any of these ephemeral experiences. Free up. And then the compassion and the wish for the well-being of all beings and the peace and calm can actually manifest for us, right? So we can be that peace in the world.